Welcome back to How to Use Canva Like a Pro. In the last video, we talked about some of the details with using fonts and graphics in Canva, specifically these menu items here, how those work, and how we can make changes to that. Whether you're clicking on text and you'll see the text menu, or graphics and you'll see the graphics menu. In this video, we're going to jump more into how do we actually apply some of these tools so that they're designed well and they look good and they work for your brand. So one of the things that I'm really thankful that Canva has updated over the last years is you can make a certain amount, certain types of text changes all within one block. So let's just call this text block a paragraph for argument's sake, and so we all know what we're talking about here. When I drag these handlebars, so with text, you've got a bar on the right and bar on the left, and that is changing your line break. So if you have a whole paragraph of text, you can make the paragraph wider or narrower. With this, you'll see that the only reason this is actually shorter lines is because I dragged the handlebars to make it shorter. What that means, though, is if I want to change text within the paragraph, it has to actually have a manual return to make that a new line, not what I'm going to call a fake return by dragging it. So there's no actual carriage return like we call in old school where I've actually hit the return key. When I hit the return key, see the difference. So it looks the same, but this is what you need to know about it because Canva treats it very differently. So when I highlight something and there's a return before it and a return after it, I can make changes just to that line of text, but it has to be a separate line. So here I can change the font, I can change the color, I can change the weight, I can change the size, I can do all of these things as long as this text is on its own line. All right, so watch what happens when I change this. If I were to delete that return and make it all in one line, you'll see it keeps some of it. It keeps the color, it keeps the bold weight, but all the size now is the same and the font is now the same. All right, so if you want to build some changes within there, which is often a fun thing to do for Instagram posts and things like that, be sure that you have a return before or after or something that separates that from the lines above and below it. All right. Something else to be aware of is that Canva is quite intuitive in that it knows whether you are in a text box or let's say a graphic box or an icon. So when you click in here, I see a lot of clients when we're working through files together and we're both in their Canva account, they'll click something and they'll highlight it in order to make the change. You don't have to do that. All you have to do is just click the box and just know that is going to make the change to the entire block. Okay, so it's just a quick tip that makes changes faster instead of having to highlight. And then what happens if you forget one letter or you go too far into the next word and you didn't mean to, all of that, you don't have to do that. Just by clicking the box, it's going to know that that is text. Now the thing to be aware of with that is if you're wanting to move it, it's going to keep this as a text cursor and you're going to have to move just outside the box, above or below it, and then that will give you the ability to move it. So again, you're going to see all these purple lines start popping up as you are moving things around. That's the frame, the default frame that Canva gives you that's all the way around, kind of gives you the inside margins. You can see a vertical alignment ruler, which is that horizontal purple line, and then all the other little bits. So there's a dotted line there. It's lining it up to the edge of the graphic, or that's putting it more in line with all three of those elements there, the icon, the text, and the graphic at the bottom. So, and then when you'll see when you get up here, it shows you that there's more than one color being used. If I were to highlight this and just for argument's sake, this is the other fun, excuse me. This is the other fun thing that you don't have to choose one of the numbers that's here. You can just type in a number and it's automatically, and hit return. And then that's going to take that number change for you. With graphics, a fun little tip here. Most people tend to, let's say I've changed this up, I've made this background dark blue, I've made this font all white, just to show you here what's possible. We're going to change this transparency so it's pretty dark here. Okay, so now obviously I don't want to keep this dark blue icon. I'm going to change it for a lighter one. I could use the yellow, I could use the white. Most people will click this, it puts it in the middle, then you drag it up, and you have to resize it, and you have to get it to realign and all those things. You don't have to do it that way. All you have to do is click and hold it. So I've clicked my mouse and I'm holding it down, drag it, and you'll see it wants to, okay, it wants to replace the photo, but I don't want to replace the photo, I want to replace that. So I get it to that point so that that's what's highlighted, and I let go of my mouse. It automatically puts it in exactly the right place, same size, same proportion, everything. That is the easiest way to make those kinds of changes. So that covers most of the text changes that you're going to want to do there. Keep in mind that you're going to want to constantly refer back to your brand fonts and keep those front and center in your mind. Stay consistent. I know it can be really tempting to want to pick a new font or a different font, but keep in mind your readers first and foremost, what they see, and when they start to scroll through, they don't know that they're seeing a specific font, but they do start to recognize that. And the more they associate those fonts, those colors, those graphics with your business, the more you're building that brand recognition, and the stronger that's going to make your business. So keep consistent with the tools that you're using, and follow me in the next video.